CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Nariman Isa.
Good evening. RCMP believe a St. Albert mother and daughter may have been killed months earlier than initially thought. They're now asking the public for help in the search for 5-month-old Braylee Beasley's remains. CTV's Connor Hogg reports.
RCMP initially told media that they believed 23-year-old Ayla Egotic-Learn and her 5-month-old daughter Braylee Beasley were killed in December of 2025. They were last seen by their family in September of that year, and RCMP now say that they believe the mother and daughter may have been killed at that point. They believe that Braylee's body was disposed of in the garbage bins behind me, and they're hoping to find more information about what else has been in those bins over the last few months to try to locate Braylee's remains.
We originally had that more December timeframe, and now we're looking more September to November. And, without narrowing down that more specific timeframe, it makes it very difficult for us to action any intel we have and to push forward with the investigation.
The mayor of St. Albert calls the crime unthinkable and profound, saying the deaths of Egotic-Learn and Beasley, in addition to another recent homicide, is unheard of in the small city. In January, RCMP found the remains of Ayla Egotic-Learn in her St. Albert apartment. In February, her partner and Braylee Beasley's father, Christopher Beasley, was charged with second-degree murder and 2 counts of indignity to a body. None of the accusations against Beasley have been proven in court. Police have been searching for Braylee Beasley's remains. They're planning to search landfill sites once they have more information.
We're hoping that this will help us narrow down that time frame.
RCMP are turning to the public to determine if and when the infant was left in these garbage bins behind me. They're hoping to speak to anyone who may have left large pieces of furniture here between mid-September and mid-November of last year. Information would help them determine exactly what location that garbage was disposed at. Anyone who can help is being asked to call RCMP. In St. Albert, Connor Hogg, CTV News.
An Edmonton bus driver is recovering in hospital after being stabbed Sunday night. Police say a passenger attacked the on-duty driver near the Abbotsfield Transit Centre around 11 p.m. The transit union says the driver is in stable condition and in good spirits considering what happened. Now it wants more steps to be taken to protect transit workers.
No transit worker should face this at all, not on a bus, not on a station, not anywhere on the job. What happened here is a reminder that violence that our members face is real, and it's serious, and we're demanding serious response at every level for these type of incidents.
Police have charged a person with aggravated assault and several breaches of a release order. The province says it wants to remove politics and ideology from classrooms and keep the focus on fundamentals like reading, math, and science. It's introducing a number of changes to the Education Act to address respect in schools. Now, the province says schools shouldn't be spaces where there is, quote, one belief system. The education minister says he wants students to learn how to think instead of what to think. The amendments would include preventing school boards from taking political or social positions. It would also protect employees from participating in activities that infringe their beliefs while ensuring students can express their views freely. The minister says students will still learn about politics and ideologies as long as lessons are presented impartially.
Students should be able to explore ideas respectfully, hear different perspectives, and engage in conversation, as long as they follow, of course, the applicable codes of conduct. That's ultimately how we build critical thinking and respectful citizenship.
Bill 25 also includes changing diploma exams to an online format next school year. As well, any trustees wanting to run in a federal election would be required to take an unpaid leave of absence. Now, if passed, the legislation would require schools to get permission to fly flags other than the Canada and the Alberta flags, and schools would also be required to play the national anthem once a week. A petition on Alberta independence has enough signatures to trigger a potential vote. That is according to its organizers. Now, they still have more than a month to collect more names before handing them over to be verified by election officials. It comes as an Abacus poll indicates most Albertans strongly oppose the idea, but think Premier Danielle Smith would vote to separate. CTV's Alicia Fieldberg reports.
Organizers of a petition calling for Alberta to separate from Canada say they've already met the threshold, which could lead to a province-wide vote on the issue. They believe they've collected more than the 177,000 signatures, which represents about 10% of eligible voters.
We're crushing the statutory number, and we're just going to continue working ahead until the 2nd of May to demonstrate to the government of Alberta how strong the support is for independence in Alberta.
The petition remains open until May 2nd. Then it will go to Elections Alberta. If enough signatures are confirmed, the question could be put on a ballot in October. Alberta independence remains a minority view, according to a recent poll by Abacus Data, where 26% of respondents support independence and 64% oppose it, the vast majority strongly opposing the idea. Some influential business leaders in Alberta say it's already having ramifications now, and some political scientists say it will only get worse.
It's going to be very divisive. It's going to chase away investment, and it's going to damage the economic stability of the province and the livelihood of the average Alberta resident.
Just this conversation about separatism is already pulling back investment.
That's why there's pressure for the Premier to stop prolonging the conversation on separation.
She doesn't have to go down that road. All she has to do is have a vote on the floor of the legislature. And if she has separatists in her caucus, that's fine. Let them vote that way. I am still confident that majority of Alberta MLAs will want to remain in Canada, and then the Premier can start focusing on other issues that are challenging our government.
His Forever Canadian petition has over 400,000 verified signatures from Albertans who want to remain in Canada, but it still sits with a provincial committee which has to decide what to do next.
Any petition that has signatures validated, it's our intention to put that on the ballot in the fall. The reason Mr. Lukaszyk's is different is because there's been some confusion about whether or not he wants that.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
Well, the Prime Minister says while the initial deadline will be missed, he is pleased with the progress being made on Ottawa's memorandum of understanding with Alberta.
We're continuing to move forward, so there's a lot of momentum. Do I think we're going to announce an agreement tomorrow? No, I don't think we're going to announce an agreement tomorrow, but I feel very good about the progress and the state of the discussions. Thank you.
So April 1st is the deadline for 4 items that would help pave the path for a new pipeline. So 2 items will miss that mark: the changes to industrial carbon pricing and the development of the Pathways Carbon Capture Project. New analysis from the Pembina Institute says the uncertainty means $40 billion of potential investment is paused. It also points out finalization of the MOU doesn't guarantee a new pipeline, as it still needs a private sector proponent. A new provincial bill was rolled out today targeting local products and liquor stores. The Alberta Whiskey Act will clearly define what is Alberta whiskey and how it's made in an effort to grow our distilling industry. Now, CTV's Tim Burke has more, including a unique aspect of the legislation.
New parameters around Alberta whiskey will soon define exactly what makes this drink so sought after.
In simple terms, it means the product has to be made right here in Alberta from start to finish, using 100% Alberta water and primarily Alberta-grown grains.
The Alberta Whiskey Act is a new effort to grow the local distilling industry. Producers have been asking for clear labeling parameters for years as they try to differentiate their whiskey in a competitive market.
This starts putting the eyes on us, getting people to come to Alberta, in parallel with our tourism industry that is burgeoning right now and developing rapidly.
If Kentucky can bring in $9 billion annually, we are the breadbasket of Canada. We are the grain producers. We make wonderful whiskey here, and we have been for decades. So why not us too?
And the Alberta spirit isn't the only noteworthy part of this bill.
It's AI entering into the core machinery of government.
The province used artificial intelligence to help write the legislation. It won't say what percentage is AI, only that it helped with research and data entry, and that humans had the final say.
This legislation is structured, it's repeatable, it's pattern-based. AI is good at all that stuff. The challenge is designing the workflow around it.
Alberta's government predicts this likely is not the end of AI assistance.
We're not really anticipating a world where AI writes all of our legislation alone, but we certainly anticipate one where AI can be one of the tools that we use.
Expect the Alberta whiskey title to be handed out to eligible distillers later this year. Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
The Alberta NDP is calling on the province to reverse its decision to lower the income threshold for seniors' benefits. The latest provincial budget dropped the income limit for seniors to qualify by 9%. It means individuals must make $32,000 a year or less to qualify. That's down from $34,000. The cutoff for a couple is now $53,000. That's down from $56,000. The NDP says in the middle of an affordability crisis, it puts even more financial pressure on people with fixed incomes. Some local seniors say they are struggling.
What kind of life will I be living? What being forced to choose between whether to purchase my medications that I need to live or purchase groceries or put a roof over my head.
The change is expected to save the province $23 million. The finance minister says it puts Alberta in line with other provinces and it remains the highest threshold in the country. While driving around Edmonton this time of year can be challenging as potholes pop up, the city says crews have filled more than 30,000 since the start of January. As CTV's Amanda Anderson reports, some drivers say the work needs to be done faster.
You usually don't have to drive very far before finding a dreaded pothole in your path. Sometimes it's unavoidable, while others manage to navigate around them unscathed.
It's getting pretty bad. I say we have to swerve a lot, like we look like we're kind of drunk, I guess, but we're not.
Driver Christian Lowe has also been swerving a lot lately. He says he almost hit a pothole on 170th Street near West Ed Mall.
The car ahead of me, the whole bottom end of the car just dropped down and bounced back up, and we had to swerve. There was a pothole the size of a manhole cover, and it was probably almost a foot deep.
Since the beginning of the year, the city says it's addressed more than 3,600 complaints to 311 by filling more than 30,000 potholes.
I understand why people own trucks, because, yeah, it's a small car, you just punish it to death. And the roads out here.
Potholes brought to the city's attention are prioritized by road type and traffic volume. The size and depth and location of a pothole on the road is also considered. As for the time it takes to fix them, the city tells CTV News high priority locations are inspected within 2 days, fixed within 10 days. Lower priority are inspected within 5 days, repaired within a month. Alleys take a little longer. Potholes there are inspected within 2 weeks and could take up to a year to fix. Work, some drivers say, takes too long.
If they're big enough or bad enough, people put in complaints, so you have an idea of where they are in the city. It should be a fairly easy task to fill them in. I realize that there's a lot and the city's huge, but you can't have cars all over the city breaking tires, breaking axles.
It's everywhere, right? We go through this every year, I guess, but this year seems to be a little worse.
Drivers can report problem areas to 311.
Wish me luck.
Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Well, coming up next, federal money for local businesses affected by tariffs. Also, prairie farmers can once again use a previously banned pesticide.
It was important that we got this done.
Good evening, folks. Nice and mild today, up to 5 degrees for a daytime high here in Edmonton. A little cooler for outlying areas, though, a little closer to the freezing mark. We'll see temperatures around 3 degrees for a high tomorrow, and then some snow, potentially as early as tomorrow night, certainly through the first half of the day Thursday. Looks like we'll get some snow. Tell you how much to expect in just a few minutes.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Ottawa is giving some local businesses money to help deal with tariffs. $7 million is being split between 5 Edmonton-based organizations. That includes $3.5 million for the Alberta Chamber of Commerce. The money comes from the Regional Tariff Response Initiative. The federal government says the money will help expand trade, advance manufacturing, and help production growth.
Our province has the industrial strength, the skilled workforce, and the entrepreneurial drive to help Canada compete in a changing world.
Now, the minister says businesses can still apply for help through the RTRI. RCMP and the Missing Children Society of Canada are trying to raise the profile of missing children with a new website.
We know that 90% of those children will be located in a week or less. But what we want people to understand is when a child is missing from a safe place, a week is too long.
The new site aims to help community members work together by tracking active cases with information in their area. More than 34,000 children were reported missing in Canada last year, with 3,500 of those in Alberta. The Missing Children Society of Canada is marking 40 years of service and has partnered closely with police and communities across the country.
That's when we really start thinking about a missing child, is when we receive an Amber Alert. And there's a high criteria for Amber Alert. That is why you only receive, a few per year, but less than 1% of that 34,000 cases will activate an Amber Alert. What about the rest?
More information on the Missing Children Society of Canada can be found on their website. You can also scan the QR code that's on the screen. That'll get you to the website, and then you can register your phone number to stay up to date on missing kids in your area. Well, rising costs and global uncertainty are putting pressure on Alberta's agriculture sector. The new report from Calgary's Chamber of Commerce says farmers are facing a perfect storm, from spiking fuel and fertilizer costs because of the Iran war to drought and trade uncertainty. Some southern Alberta farmers say fertilizer prices have doubled during a critical planting period, which will force cutbacks and lower yields.
Let's make sure people have access to capital, make sure that, we're expanding that trade infrastructure, whether it's across the country or to ports, so that we can export to new markets. But really, we have to figure out how to be more efficient. I was reading something a couple of days ago. Some of the food manufacturing plants in Canada are 200 years old.
Now the Chamber warns...
What?
Now, the Chamber warns labor shortages and interprovincial trade barriers also need to be addressed to avoid billions of dollars in losses. Farmers in Alberta and Saskatchewan can once again use strychnine to kill gophers. The federal government has reversed a Trudeau-era decision banning the pesticide. It's available for emergency use until November of next year. Both Alberta and Saskatchewan had been lobbying Ottawa to permit the poison to eliminate Richardson's ground squirrels, commonly called gophers. Alberta's agriculture minister says the recent overpopulation has caused devastating damage for ranchers and farmers.
Seeing that there was infrastructure damage, crop loss, grazing land loss, risk to livestock, it was important that we got this done.
Health Canada's Pest Management Regulatory Agency previously said the risks of strychnine to other wildlife were too high. Now, RJ Sigurdsson says risk mitigation protocols, including training and enforcement, have been put in place to minimize the impact. Well, people are spending more time on their screens, and now so are the seals at Edmonton's Valley Zoo. So researchers are bribing seals like Sophia with fish to use these touch screens. The animals are taught how to tap the screen and pick which image is the correct one. Researchers are trying to learn how seals process visual information. The study's lead says it's helping our understanding of the animals while helping the seals as well.
This also acts as cognitive enrichment. So they're able to choose if they wish to participate in research. They'll be provided the opportunity. If they come over to the screen and choose to engage with it, then they get that cognitive stimulation added to their day.
Now the hope is to move this study to river otters next. Well, still to come, a giant leap for space exploration on the eve of the Artemis II mission.
The idea is follow-on Artemis missions will pave the way towards future lunar permanent surface operations.
Wednesday on Your Morning Edmonton, are you addicted to your phone? It's more common than you think. How it happens, when it's a problem, and some tips to break your habit. See you at 6.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Programming brought to you by Green Tree Outdoor Living, where your dream yard becomes a reality.
Welcome back. It was a chilly start to the day at -10, but we got back to average this afternoon with a high of 5 degrees. I think we'll be a couple of degrees cooler tomorrow. Mostly cloudy skies throughout the day. By tomorrow afternoon, we've got some flurries and some snow falling in western and northwestern sections. I think here in Edmonton, if we're going to see any snow, it'll be in the evening hours. And you can see at 11 p.m., better chance for some snow there off to the west and northwest of Edmonton. Now, there is some uncertainty with just how much snow we might get here in the Edmonton area. I think we probably get at least a bit of accumulation. Heavier snow potentially in southern parts of the province from Red Deer south. We very likely will get some snowfall warnings for the first half of the day Thursday for southern sections of Alberta. Here in Edmonton, yeah, we're kind of getting grazed, it looks like, through the first half of the day, and then the snow should break down in the afternoon. Now, the Canadian models do have some heavier snow over top of the Edmonton area. It looks a lot snowier than what that model was that we just showed you. So there is some uncertainty. And if you come back tomorrow, we should have a little better handle on that. But at this point, I think expect at least a bit of accumulation through the first half of the day Thursday. Minus 14 in Fort McMurray tomorrow, minus 8 in Grand Prairie in the morning, and we'll be in the minus 8 to minus 10 range from Edmonton south towards Red Deer. Not bad in the afternoon, somewhere in the 2 to 4 degree range across the northeast. There's a chance of some snow for Grand Prairie and Edson. Nothing too heavy, but maybe a little bit of a dusting to a centimeter or two. 2 for Lloydminster, 3 in Red Deer with cloudy skies, and 4 in Jasper. Here in Edmonton, about 3 degrees. There's your chance of flurries in the evening. Snow very likely through the first half of the day Thursday. Amounts still yet to be determined. And cooler for Thursday as well with that chance of snow. Back to about 0 or +1 for a daytime high. Weekend looks pretty good. 6 on Friday, 8 or 9 on Saturday, and then chance of a scattered shower and 5 on Sunday. But back to a risk of snow Monday and Wednesday of next week. That is your forecast.
Well, we are on the eve of when the next launch window opens for the Artemis II mission that will blast Canada's Jeremy Hansen and 3 other astronauts around the moon and back. Now, if it all goes according to plan this time, the crew will take off tomorrow night. CTV's Heather Wright is at Cape Canaveral to witness history and the lead up to it.
With every second that passes, the Artemis II gets closer to liftoff.
There was a lot of smiles today, so felt really good about that. As the team is preparing, I think everybody's pretty excited and understands the significance of this launch.
The team has spent the day doing a number of final checks to the spacecraft, which will soon embark on a 10-day mission around the moon, while the astronauts, including Canadian Jeremy Hansen, remain in quarantine, waiting for tomorrow's planned launch.
He'll be spending time with people who are really close to him, family, and he's probably going to be going to bed really early and sleep shifting so that they can get on the schedule they'll be on for this moon mission. Now, whether or not he'll be successful, I don't know. Do you think you'd be able to sleep if you were going to the moon the next morning?
Joshua Kutrick is a Canadian astronaut who says a lot needs to go right for a successful liftoff tomorrow.
It's immensely complicated. It is the most powerful rocket that's ever been built, and it's full of millions of high-tech components. So technologically, this is a very big challenge.
And the challenges are only going to grow, with NASA unveiling ambitious plans for space exploration, including a moon base by 2030.
I think of this as just the opening chapter in a grand story of astronauts going to and from the moon with great frequency.
To achieve those goals, NASA Administrator Jarek Isaacman says collaborating with international partners like Canada will be critical.
Canada is leaning forward with robotic expertise for our ambitions on the lunar surface. It's exciting to think about the potential when you're not just going to the moon for a couple of days, but actually trying to create an enduring presence for, its scientific and economic potential.
Canada's partnership with NASA dates back decades, with Hansen set to become the first non-American to travel to deep space.
It is space diplomacy, and Jeremy is emblematic of that.
Absolutely.
He brings a huge, powerful capability, but it's also the whole country and our industrial capabilities, what we bring to the table. That's why we're here.
The launch window officially opens at 6:24 p.m. tomorrow. And while officials say there is an 80% chance of favorable weather, these strong winds and cumulus clouds are in the forecast, something NASA's weather officer will be keeping a close eye on as we get closer to liftoff. Heather Wright, CTV News, Cape Canaveral, Florida.
An Alberta-based doctor and astronaut says tomorrow's Artemis II mission is a turning point for Canada and beyond. Dr. Shauna Padania was the first female Canadian commercial astronaut. She says the Artemis is about more than just sending humans to the moon for the first time in decades. She tells Alberta Primetime it's the start of a new era in space travel.
The idea is follow-on Artemis missions will pave the way towards future lunar permanent surface operations. So we're not just going back to the moon, but we're going back to stay with a view towards furthering lunar exploration and then also using the moon as a testbed for Mars.
Penna says this mission is inspirational to people like her who dream of their own lunar missions. Good luck to them all. Well, that's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good rest of your evening. Good night.